So I hear everybody talking that the upcoming Titans Return Voyager Megatron, which looks great, is a mold that's going to be redone into Blitzwing. And a few years ago we got this Blitzwing. It's kind of a short time between updates, and of course the new one is going to be a Titan Master, or it's going to have a Titan Master. This one didn't, and he's not supposed to, so I kind of really dig this one. And you might be thinking to yourself, hey, I've seen this guy, never got him. Honestly, I didn't see him around a lot at retail either. He was rare, really rare, at least around here. Should you bother to go back and get this guy, or should you wait for the new one? Well, I obviously don't know how the new one's going to work out, but this one is actually pretty great. And I know what you're thinking. No, he's not that great. He has that terrible shoulder issue. Well, mine doesn't. As you can see, his shoulders go around just fine. And same on the other side, just fine. Might be a little bit confused about that. I'm going to review this guy, take a closer look at him, see if he is a good incarnation of the character, and I'm going to explain to you how you can repair those shoulder pieces so that they work just like butter. They work great. And honestly, it improves this guy tremendously. So stick around, we're going to have a look at everything to do with the Transformers Generations Voyager class Blitzwing in the latest GotBot True Review. Welcome back to the channel, folks. I'm your host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot, and as always, please like, comment, subscribe, check out the Everything Factory Machinery Man, check me out everywhere, and we're going to go right into this guy, and we're going to measure him as we always do, and of course I'm going to talk about how I fixed his shoulders and how you can do it too. Honestly, it took me all of maybe 10 minutes. It might have taken me that long. Not even sure it took me that long. Paint apps. 9. I'm going to say a 9. I think that they're really good. There's no mistaking that this is Blitzwing. I think he looks great. If we really quickly compare him to, his original version, obviously he's a lot bigger, but come on, that's a great update. Great update. He looks pretty fantastic, to be honest with you. I know I've been meaning to do this review for a while. That being said, he's starting out really strong. We're going to go into his articulation. As a tank, he rolls pretty great, to be honest with you. I dig it. As a plane, he works like a plane. He's plane-ish. Though the nose cone is a little fiddly to get in because it's this soft rubbery plastic. In this mode, the legs can go forward all the way back. There's a thigh rotation. There's a knee bend to about 90 degrees, slightly under, and I'll give it to you. He has a long leg here and a little short thigh. There's ankle tilt, forward and back and to the sides. He's actually quite solid to stand, which surprised me because he obviously has so much of a backpack with his tank cannon and his nose of his jet back there, but it's great. The head goes left and it goes right, not really much up and down, just a little bit. A lot of people have complained and said that the face swapping gimmick on him doesn't work. Mine does. I didn't have the overpaint. A lot of people have said that you can scrape off some of the yellow underneath and it will work fine, but for me I didn't need to do that. There's his regular face. That's the one I always leave on. There's his out of control face. I don't know what it is. It's from animated. And there's his monocle face, and they all flip around fine for me personally. So I guess I was fortunate. Found this guy kind of by chance after a big storm here. I was on my way home from Starscream Girlfriend's place to actually do some shoveling. Happened to drop in to do a check and found this guy not even in the Transformer section. He was kind of off by himself, and picked him up then and there because I'd only seen him once before. After that, I saw him twice more. That's it. This guy was pretty rare. He comes with his sword, which looks pretty great. Very reminiscent of his original. There's a peg back here, and I tend to just store it back there, to be honest with you, in this mode. And he comes with this blaster. Would have been nice if this was cast in purple as well instead of black, but you know, whatever, beggars can't be choosers. And again, port back here, and it stores in there just fine if you don't want them in his hands. The arms are very tight. They go out, it's extremely tight, and they come down. Swivel at the bicep, nice 90-degree elbow. Wrist articulation, his wrist can swivel. I mean, come on. No waist, but that's because of transformation, and his shoulders can go, as I said, all the way around. A lot of times when you would start to do this, the whole assembly in here would come up and the whole arm would flip up, and a lot of people said, that's terrible, and it was terrible. I would have, before doing the fix, I would have given this guy's posability, playability, because of that shoulder issue, probably about a 6. Now, honestly, it's like a 9.5 because that's fixed. And there's a lot of options to fixing it. Now, I tried a bunch of options just to test them out. Here's the thing. I'll actually bring this up. This is what would happen. You would flip the arm around, the whole assembly would come up. The issue is, I guess, in here. In package, however it was shipped, however it was packed, it seemed like the plastic maybe warped a little bit. This plastic for the shoulder assembly seems a little bit, not soft, it seems like a different plastic than the body plastic. And we're talking about some rather thin pieces here overall. The way it works is that you have a little section here that has a notch in it, and that little notch goes over a tab right here. And you would bring the arm down and it would kind of just loosely go in there, but it wouldn't really notch into place because the two parts of the body were not close enough together. Some people have said you could put in a thickening agent, and you could probably use something in there behind the little opening or on the peg to make it longer. You could probably do the whole floor polish fix. That would probably work pretty good. But that's not what I did. I wanted something that was going to be everlasting. So I went kind of extreme on this guy. You have to take both shoulders up and get them swung up and out of the way. You have to do that first and get them up and out of the way. Then you need to take the whole body and kind of bring it forward and bring the nose cone forward, because you need to be able to swivel this piece. When you come to the back, you do have to take the body apart. There's a screw down here. There's 2 screws right here. And when you swivel this, there are 2 more screws up top here. You need to take them all apart, and you need to take his body apart into 2 halves. And you might be thinking, oh, I'm never going to get it back together. Actually, this whole assembly with his arms and his turret and this back piece all stays together. So that's pretty easy, to be honest with you, because there's I guess a slider in here, and when you take the back off, all of this piece is going to stay on, at least it did for me. When you take this screw out down here, okay, the legs do kind of, come out, but again, just lay them to the side with the screw so that you know where everything is. After you take out all of the screws and you have the 2 body pieces apart, you'll notice that there are 2 circular pieces up top here. All you need to do is start taking a piece of sandpaper and sanding down the circular sections. And when I say sanding down the circular sections, I just mean at the very top of it, where the screw hole is, and you'll see it, you just start sanding it down. People have said, oh, be careful, don't over sand it. I don't think you're going to over sand it if you are somewhat sensible in what you're doing. What you're going to end up having happen is you're going to sand it down a little bit, and then you start pressing the back of the body in there. That's not the only spot you need to sand. When you take it apart, you'll notice that the two body halves come down right here on the side. Now they should meet up right here at a 90-degree angle. But you'll notice, and I didn't notice it until I took them apart, you'll notice that the corner of the back is probably right at 90 degrees. But the spot that it fits up has ever so slight of a curve. So all you really want to do is sand that curve away so that it's at a perfect 90-degree angle. When you have the little section up here and on the other side sanded to a perfect 90-degree angle, and you have these pegs up top sanded down a little bit, start pressing the body back together. You might have to do it and tighten in the screws and test the shoulders. I did that twice. And then I had to take out the two screws up here. And by the way, I wouldn't put in the other three when I'm testing it. I would just put in these two up here because that's a real trick. I would take them back out. I'd sand down a little bit more off of these pegs because getting these sections at a 90-degree angle was easy. Eventually, after 3 times of doing some sanding and vigorous, sanding, like, don't be afraid of wearing down the plastic. Push them together as tight as you can, put the screws in as tight as you can. And once you do that, all of that bit of sanding, like I said, it might take 10 minutes. You put it all back together, you twist this back piece up, and you hope that when you put the shoulders down, they tab. And when you bring the shoulder down, it does tab. And when you bring this shoulder down, it does tab. Now, the other concern that people have had is, and I'll put this back up, is if you over sand it, he's not going to transform correctly. Mine still does. Altogether, I think the little corner sections, like I said, I just sanded ever so slightly there and just took a little bit off. If you still find that the body pieces aren't fitting together perfectly, you can actually sand down the length of the side. Let me bring this up again. You can actually sand down the length of the side of the joint here. I did do that with double dealer because I felt like after sanding the little circular piece, it didn't quite come in flush with the back piece. So I did have to sand down a little bit on the side. Again, nothing major. Really, nothing major. You're working with millimeters here, folks. You're not trying to take off an inch or centimeter. You're working with only removing a couple of millimeters. And it makes all the difference in the world. So we're going to take him from this now. And by the way, if that wasn't clear to you, please, by all means, feel free to ask me step by step exactly what I did, and I'm happy to share it with you. Because it makes the enjoyment of this guy so much more. We're going to put him now in his plane mode and then his tank mode. Let's do that. That sound good? That sound good to you? Sounds good to me. So, how do we do this? Because I haven't done this guy in a while. Well, you're going to take this whole cockpit section out. You're going to push the head down, and then you're going to bring this up over. And when you do so, a lot of people complain and say it doesn't fit in perfect, and no more it doesn't. It looks like that. What you have to do, honestly, is really try and get this little tiny piece in under a notch right here. And you might have to press to do it. Maybe I can't even do it right now because really you want to have the cockpit free, and as I push this forward now the cockpit's coming out. So we're just going to leave that for now. Holy moly. Okay, so next. You got to make sure the hands are straight, and you bring this section down over them, and same on the other side. You need to make sure that the hand is straight so that you can bring this section down over it. My hand's not straight. Bring it down like that. Next, you take the arms and you bring them up, and you take the arm, you put it out straight, and you bring it all the way up. And I just popped off a little wing piece here. That's just because I was holding on to it, and I really shouldn't have been holding on to that piece. And it just pops back in like that. So now you have the arms up like this. You want to get that out of the way there now. You want to take the whole shoulder assembly and bring it up around. Take the whole shoulder assembly and bring it up around. And now you have what looks like this on the back. Turn the arm here and take the whole arm piece and flip it in. Turn the arm here, take the whole arm piece and flip it in. When you do this, you're going to end up having a little tab right here, go into a little slot right there. Just like that. And on this side over here, same thing, just like that. Don't worry about this for now. Next, you want to take the legs and you're going to start to kind of angle them back here. And you can take the whole, I guess, front of the plane and bring it all the way up. Now that this cockpit piece isn't being pushed out, now you can take that little nose cone section and angle it underneath. And why did I say that you didn't want the cockpit, I guess, canopy section to open up? Because the notch that this little purple piece tabs into is really part of the translucent plastic that's under right there. Once you get it in like this, you get it in. You're going to have to kind of push down on the face a bit, but it's flush once it goes in. Next you come to I guess feet and wings and stuff on the side. You can see where there's a plain wing, so you take the leg and you turn it this way with the tread facing in toward the body. You take this one and turn it this way with the tread facing in toward the body. You close up the feet and you close up the feet. So far, so good. You want to take this wing piece and turn it around. Take this wing piece and turn it around along with the foot and face it out. And face it out. Then you take the two legs and you bring them in. They do tab in here. See if I can show you exactly where. There's a little tab here. And a little tab up here. There's a couple of little sections down there that go in under the treads here. And that tabs in like that. And same on the other side. It tabs in like that. Honestly, I find a lot of people talk about the tabbing being difficult. I find, honestly, that when you push the legs in, they're just going to kind of naturally tab anyway. Take the turret piece, and it comes right down underneath the plane, like that. Guess I should tab that back in, because it just popped out on me. We'll straighten up these shoulder pieces here a little bit. We'll turn this wing around. Actually, we'll leave that wing like that. We'll turn this one around to match it. Like that. You bring out this wing, and there's a little piece back here that you bring down to fill in the wing. You bring out this wing, and there's a little piece here that you bring down to fill out the wing. And if you want to change where these weapons store, you can take them off of right there and right there, because they are kind of obtrusive, sticking off there. I personally like to take the sword piece and stick it up right there to fill in the opening in the body of the plane, and then I like to take the gun personally and stick it right there facing out, or you can always have the gun facing back as well. And do I have everything done here? I think I have everything done here. In the end, here's Blitzwing in his plane mode, and I think it's a good plane. Granted, it's definitely his weakest mode because you have all of this section up here, but as a whole, I think it's a pretty good looking, convincing plane mode for what it is. I don't have a problem with it. I really don't have a problem with it. Now, to go to tank. Well, we're going to take that off, and we're going to take the sword off and lay those to the side. You want to take the arms and unpeg them, You're going to take this center piece now, and we're just going to bring it up around. I guess we'll just do that with it for now. We're going to take the whole canopy and bring that down to fill in the body. The wing pieces, you push that piece up and push that in. You push this piece up and push it in, and you'll notice it pushed out treads here. That's because we're going to take the leg and we're going to turn it this way so that the beige matches the beige of the thigh. We're going to pull this out, and then we open out the whole tread. You're probably going to have to push the wing back in all the way down, and we bring the tread up and it will tab in. We do the same on the other side where we turn this part of the leg, we bring this out, we open the tread piece, we bring the tread piece up and lock it in, we bring the whole wing down. We take the feet and we just turn them on the side. Instead of being now this way, they're turned down like this. The treads are going to come in on the side. Hold on here. Let's get this oriented, because again, I want to be able to explain this properly. You have a little slot in here, you have a little tab on the leg, a little tab on the leg, and a little slot inside. That's what you're trying to line up. I've never found that lines up the easiest before or after the mod. Oh, and you want to pull out the thighs so that you actually have the room to angle the treads in. This is definitely the most tedious part of doing this. So, you angle the treads in, and when you do it, that little section goes locked in like I said, and there's a little tab down on the tread that goes into a tab on the side of the body. Next, you take the wing pieces and you fold them in like this. You take the arm pieces that were down flat, and now you put them on the side, and when you put them on the side, you pretty much just use the tab that's here now to peg into that same hole that we used before. You have the turret. Actually, I think the turret is supposed to, I think before I tab these in, I was supposed to put the turret down first. My mistake. You angle the turret like that, and now you tab these in on that side, and you tab it in. Hard to line up the little tabs here, like that. The legs might be a bit of a pain and come loose as you're doing that. Mine do. Last but not least, you take these sections here on the side, they need to flip up. They're a bit of a pain to get up, to be honest with you. Or at least I've always found them to be a bit of a pain to get up. That one comes up. This one comes up on the side. They tab in, and boom, in the end, there he is in tank mode, and he rolls pretty great. Oh, see, this side came out again. Boom, there you go. The back is probably not the strongest part of the tank, but you know, the rest of them looks like a tank, and this whole piece here, assuming that's all down, can the turret turn? I thought the turret could turn. The turret can turn, but I had the landing gear left up. You're going to want to put the landing gear down. My bad. Fold that in. And now the turret can turn all the way around. Now, granted, when you turn it this way, that's a bit of a rough swivel, but in the end, here he is in tank mode, and I think it's a pretty cool looking tank, to be honest with you. I like what they did here. The transformation's not hard. Pegging the legs in is definitely your biggest fiddly piece, as well as that nose cone. I'm going to give his transformation, I'm going to give it a 7.5. I could see collectors digging it. I could see some collectors getting a little frustrated. Kids are going to have a bit of a challenge with it. So maybe the new one will have a better transformation. Who knows? But for my collection, this guy fills the bill that I need him to fill. I think he looks great. I think he works great. Just to do the full gamut, we'll put him back in robot mode from here. You poke down these pieces on the front, and they go in on the side. You bring the legs all the way down after untabbing them. You push them in. You take the treads off of the legs. You fold them back up and push them in. Fold them back up and push them in. You turn the legs around and turn the leg around. Turn the foot out and make sure this foot is out. You open his feet back up. You bring the wing up on the side. You open his foot back up and you bring the wing up on the side. And you have his lower body now done again. You untab the arms from the body. You flip them out and bring them all the way forward. Now they should tab in to become nice shoulders. I used to swing the shoulder down and I realized that looks really low. That's because that's not what you're supposed to do. Bring that one out, bring this one out, open the wings back, flip these little pieces down over his hands, bring the entire section down, bring the entire arm down, take the turret and angle it down and up, take the I guess nose of the plane and angle it all the way back. And a lot of people don't go back far enough. You can angle it all the way back. It does stick down through a little hole right here. Angle it all the way back. The head might pop up on its own. You might have to pick it up, and in the end, here he is back in robot mode. And here he is next to Sentinel Prime, a good big size Voyager. Blitzwing, I mean, not Sentinel. Well, Sentinel is too. He's great. He has his fiddly parts. Overall, for a representation of Blitzwing, honestly, I think the guy's a good 8.5. I like him. He works for me. I'm glad that he's not a Titan Master. For my collection, he's my version. Hopefully the explanation of how to fix the shoulders helped you out, and if you try it yourself, like I said, it's not hard. If I can do it, folks, trust me, you can do it. And I promise you, it will make you enjoy this guy a lot more. A lot more. Just be careful about your sanding. That's it. Anyway, thanks for giving me some of your valuable time. Thanks for stopping by and having a visit, and I really look forward to the next time that we get together again, right here for another visit inside the videos.